Hey there, it's Dr. Dave, Microdose U. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. I've got a great episode, and I promised you that today I would spend either all or most of my time answering your questions they've just been accumulating for a little while, and I haven't been able to get to them just because of the nature of the last couple of episodes were pretty long and unrelated to kind of Q&A. We're going to do a lot of Q&A today. I hope I catch up with all of your questions. But before I get into that, I want to bring up something really interesting that I just read. There's been a new article floating around, and it suggests that psilocybin may actually have anti-aging properties at the cellular level. Now, let me be clear. We're still very early in this research, and nobody's saying that taking mushrooms is suddenly going to make you look 20 years younger overnight. But the science is pointing in a fascinating direction. And what the researchers are finding is that psilocybin actually appears to influence something called cellular senescence. That's basically the process where our cells stop dividing and start breaking down. And that breakdown is one of the drivers of aging in the body. Now, psilocybin seems to activate certain pathways that reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. And those two things are huge when it comes to slowing down cellular aging. Even more compelling, there are signs that it might help mitochondria, the little energy factories in our cells. It may help them function more efficiently. And if you've ever studied longevity at all, you know that mitochondrial health is one of the biggest keys to staying youthful and energetic and sharp as we get older. So while it's not like scientists are now handing out mushroom capsules as the new fountain of youth, it is really exciting to see the evidence piling up that psilocybin isn't just about mental health, mood, and spirituality. It may also be playing a role in how our bodies themselves age. And to me, that just deepens the respect I already have for this medicine. Anyway, I thought that was way too fascinating not to share with you, at least at the very beginning of this episode. And who knows, maybe in addition to helping our minds and spirits, the medicine is giving ourselves a little extra youth as well. Now, as promised, let's get into questions and answers that you have submitted either from YouTube, email, Messenger, Pony Express. However you got me these questions, I am going to do my absolute best to answer them right now. Let's just go, not really even in any order. I'm just going to take them as they come in here. From Sarah J. Hey, Dr. Dave, I've been microdosing for a few months now, and I feel like I've kind of plateaued. How do I know if it's time to change my dose or my schedule? Hey, Sarah, great question there. That's one of the reasons we say that it's good to take days off and reset. So it's not an uncommon question. You've been doing it for a little while. It was going great, but then it just kind of stopped doing its thing. Here's what I suggest. Take some time off. Take a few days off if you haven't done that at all. And maybe even take a week or so off just to reset and see what happens. Also, another possibility is just increase your dose a little bit and see. But I would go with the reset first and then go ahead and start increasing dose as needed. But again, it's the type of thing that it's not an exact science and play around with the doses, play around with the strains if you want. There's nothing wrong with changing things up a little bit. I've done that and it's worked really, really well for me. And I've been doing this for a little over 4 years now. Next question. From Mark in Denver, I've heard some people say microdosing can lose its effectiveness over time. Is that true? And if so, is there a way to reset things? Well, okay, that kind of segues right from Sarah's question. And again, yes, it is all about resetting, taking some time off, adjusting dosage as needed. I can't give you like a blanket rule because since everybody's different, some people hardly need any reset days and other people need more and more. So it's very hard for me to say. But again, like I said to Sarah, Mark, if it does start to lose its effectiveness, just take some time off and also adjust dosage as needed. There's nothing wrong Nothing wrong at all with going up a little bit. We're talking microdose range anyway. So it's like if you've been doing, I'm just making this up, 150 milligrams. If you want to go ahead and try 200 or even 250, there's never anything wrong with that. Okay, next question from at Mindful Mike 87. Do you notice a difference in benefits between microdosing psilocybin versus LSD? Are they basically interchangeable? Wow, I've never been asked that exactly like that. And are they interchangeable? Well, at microdose levels, maybe. So I really do like microdosing LSD. I think it gives again, I've done episodes on this and it's hard to put into words, but if I had to say, I just feel like it feels a little stronger, but it's still microdose. So I'm not talking about a psychedelic trip, but it feels a little stronger. It lasts longer for sure. And are they interchangeable? Well, I've been microdosing LSD maybe once a week, maybe on a Sunday. Just again, could be a Sunday. Then I go a microdose magic mushrooms during the week if needed, if I feel like it. Depend again. These days it just depends what kind of mood I'm in because they've really done the rewiring work on my brain and just it depends where I am if I want to but yes, I am a big fan of LSD microdosing. I think it's really, really effective. And I only wish I would have known about the LSD microdosing back when I started my journey, because that would have been really, really interesting. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. Oh, from Jasmine R. I keep hearing about people stacking mushrooms with lion's mane or even niacin. Is that legit or just hype? Oh, it's absolutely legit. I've been using lion's mane pretty much from the beginning, from when I've been microdosing magic mushrooms. Lion's mane is just really good for cognition anyway, even as a standalone. But stacking it with doing your microdosing dose, that's a great thing. I take three, I think, 2 to 3 lion's mane capsules a day, and I've shared with you the exact one that I use. I'll try to, if I remember, I'll try to share it again in the show notes here. Um, Niacin, that's another thing. I don't personally stack with niacin. The idea behind it is that it's a vitamin B, and it supposedly, like, for lack of a better term, like opens up your blood vessels, dilates them, and allows the psilocybin to kind of, I guess, go into your vessels a little bit easier. Um, I don't personally do it, and people talk about niacin flush when you start to get all your face gets red or I'm not really that interested in that for me. So I've been staying away from the niacin stacking, but people do it, and including Paul Stamets speaks very highly of it. So who am I to ever argue with Paul Stamets? He knows a lot more than I do about mushrooms. Probably knows more than I ever will about mushrooms. So if he says do it, it could be worth a try for you. I personally don't do it though. Next question from Tyler P. Can microdosing help with things like social anxiety or performance anxiety, or is it mainly useful for depression and anxiety? Tyler, oh yeah, 100%. Social anxiety, performance. I just did an episode of a few episodes ago on paruresis. That's a type of performance anxiety. That's like peeing in public. And believe it or not, I can't remember the stats, but it's like, what is it, between 7 and 20% of the American population has some type of peeing in public difficulties. So yes, performance anxiety, also sexual performance. Yes, magic mushrooms, psilocybin absolutely can help with all of that, in addition to helping with mental health issues. But these are mental health issues: performance anxiety, paruresis, being afraid to pee in public. It's a form of performance and social anxiety for sure. From Emily W., how important is setting an intention when I microdose? Should I be really specific or with it, or just keep it general? Emily, good question. That's really up to you. Setting an intention, I think, is really important, because you want to know. It's like getting into a car and driving somewhere but not knowing where you're going, not having a map or not having any idea where you're going. You can drive and the car will function, but is it going to get you to your goal? And I say, if you don't have a destination set, no, it's not. And same thing with this. Like, you can eat magic mushrooms all you want, But if you don't really have an intention, like what do you want them to do? It's not like popping a pharmaceutical. If you pop like a high blood pressure pill, it's going to take care of your blood pressure whether you're thinking about it or not. It's going into your biochemical functions, your physiology, and it's making changes. However, psilocybin is a little bit different. You do need to have some type of a intention, even if your intention is just as simple as, I really want this to take care of my depression, and I'm going to keep microdosing, and it's going to help with my depression, and I'm going to journal about it. Even something that simple, but you do need to have some type of intention. Yes, you do, even with microdosing. From Chris L in Toronto. Hey, welcome from Toronto, Chris. I started microdosing. I think my sleep has been different. Can microdosing affect sleep either positively or negatively? Yes, absolutely it can. Chris, you didn't mention whether it's positively affecting your sleep or negatively. I hope positively because most people, not all, but most people report a positive change in sleep from microdosing. And that does not mean you have to microdose before you go to sleep. Again, this is rewiring our brains. It's teaching us how to be healthier in so many ways. So yes, it absolutely can affect sleep. I'd say in most cases, positively. In some cases, I've definitely heard people say they've had trouble sleeping since they've been microdosing, but those cases are more few and far between. That's not the norm. So please don't worry about that. From Nicole B. If someone's living a really stressful lifestyle, is microdosing enough by itself, or does it only work if you're also making other lifestyle changes? Yeah, Nicole, great question there. The good thing about microdosing magic mushrooms, psilocybin, is, they're referred to as teachers. So it's like the secondary effect you can get from microdosing. They start to teach you what you need to do in your life to affect the changes. So they don't affect all the changes. They don't make all the changes, but they point you in the direction. For example, um, some parts of my physical, I should say physical health were starting to, I thought, go in the wrong direction. And the magic mushrooms actually pointed me towards things that I should be doing differently. So they didn't actually themselves, for example, how could I, let me think of a good example recently. Okay, I'll take blood pressure. I definitely was experiencing some pressure, some pressure, some pressures yet, but some problems with some high blood pressure sometimes. Um, but they pointed me in the direction of things that I needed to do differently in my life to control or to make my blood pressure totally normal. Same thing with GI, stomach type issues. I was having a little acid reflux. And again, magic mushrooms themselves are not going to take care of that, but they pointed me in the direction of eating more of an anti-inflammatory diet, staying away from simple carbs, staying away from even things like alcohol and real spicy foods. They kind of taught me to go in that direction, as well as apple cider vinegar, doing a lot of things like that really have helped in incredible amounts. So again, those are my personal examples, but yes, they will teach you, they will point you in the direction that you need to go. I promise you that. From at placebo or not, that's a great screen name for what your question. I've heard people say microdosing is just a placebo. How do you respond to that? My response to that is pretty simple. If microdosing magic mushrooms or microdosing psychedelics is only a placebo, then I've got to tell you something. This is the best 4.5 year placebo it's the best 4.5 year placebo trip, I should say, that I've ever been on. So if it's truly a placebo, bring it on because it's working. My answer is no, it's not a placebo. It absolutely works. At the beginning, or at certain times, it could act as a placebo, as many pharmaceuticals do as well. But again, over my experience, over 4.5 years, that's got to be one heck of a placebo to totally change somebody's life. But if it is, that's fantastic. I'll accept that. It doesn't really matter because it's working. From Jake R. Be honest, Dr. Dave. Do you ever feel like you're promoting drugs? How do you walk that line between helping people and not pushing them into something risky? Hey, that's a pretty cool question and a fair question, Jake. No, I don't feel that I'm promoting drugs. I'm talking about my experience with plant medicine. That's very, very different. I mean, why would that be any different than me talking about how great a antidepressant pill, an SSRI, is? Why is it any different? Yes, the only thing is, in some areas, this plant medicine is not legal, or it's not been yet decriminalized. So I always do say, and I'll say it right now, only use it in areas where it's decriminalized or where it's legal. And when I say that, then I'm not pushing drugs on anybody because you're doing it in a place where it's legal, and also it's very, very, very safe plant medicine. I mean, you can't overdose on this stuff. Yeah, you could go on a crazy, wild, too intense psychedelic trip, but it's not like the really dangerous drugs. I'm not even putting it in that category because yeah, you can die from other things. From psychedelics, no. You might go on on a crazy trip, long trip, but it's not dangerous as far as it's not going to kill you, and also it's not habit forming or addicting or habituating in any way whatsoever. So I would say, Jake, what I'm doing is actually a service to people, pointing them in the direction of something that's safe. I would say safer than many pharmaceuticals out there. But I always do say, check with your healthcare provider, healthcare practitioner, your doctor. Don't do it alone. Make sure your doctor is at least knows what you're doing and get their blessing and then and go with it. That's exactly what I did. And again, no turning back from me. From Anna C. Hey, Dr. Dave, why do you say I love you at the end of every episode? And should we actually believe you? Oh, wow. Well, I do say I love you, unless I forget in rare circumstances. Sometimes I might forget. But yeah, I say I love you at the end of every episode. And do I mean it? Is it real? Yes, absolutely. Now, again, it's not in the romantic or sexual way at all. You know that. I'm not creepy. But why do I say that? It's because here I am, and if you're watching me on YouTube, you see my face, you see my expressions, you see my eyes looking into the camera. Good. If you're listening to audio on Spotify, on Apple, or whatever platform, you can't really see me, but you can hear my voice. And I hope in my voice you can tell that I'm not just talking into an empty microphone hoping for the best. I am trying my best every episode, every single episode, to speak to you, my audience who is engaged, and I'm engaging with you, and I really care about your health, your mental health, and your physical health, and your happiness, and everything else. I care about you. I mean, Anna, do you know how many people are out there alone, trying to improve themselves, trying to figure out what to do as far as depression and anxiety and other mental health issues, but they've got no support. They've got nobody that they're close with who can help them or guide them. And I want to be that person in those instances when somebody just doesn't have somebody else to walk with. I want to make sure they understand that I'm here to walk with them. I'm giving them love every single day, every time I record an episode and way beyond. And so, yes, I really honestly mean that from my heart. When I say at the end of every episode, I love you, that's what it means. It means I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. You can walk with me. We'll do this together. You are no longer alone. And I've always said from the very first episode, if I can help one person, just one person, and I don't help anybody else, then I've succeeded because I've changed one human being on this planet. But over 4 years later with this podcast and YouTube channel, I've learned that I've been helping many more than just one person. So, yes, it really does come from my heart, Anna. There's no question. When I say I love you at the end of the episode, I feel you there. I feel that you're engaged. I feel that you want to change. I feel that you want to make things better for yourself and probably for other people as well. And for that, I will always love you for sure. What a great way to end this episode because I've already said it. Remember, if you're brand new to me, please always check the show notes. I've got links that could be very valuable to you. I've got links to especially our Patreon platform that we have a lot of. It's like a little family there. We love what we do. Live meetings every couple weeks. This is the place, it's a higher level engagement where you can really take things to the next level and get really good help. We also offer one-on-one coaching if that's what you're looking for, but they're all kind of things. So check the links in the show notes and my website, microdoseu.com. It's microdose spelled out with the letter U on the end of it, microdoseu.com. And we've got a brand new episode that comes out every Wednesday. And I'm so glad you were here with me today. So I don't know, I've already said it. Do I need to say it again? I think I don't want to overdo it either. So I won't say it again because I said it when I answered Anna's question. So you all know that's the case. And I will close with we are done. See you next week, next episode, and we will sign form.